I still remember the way she used to smile at me, like I was her whole world. 7 years into marriage, and I thought we had the kind of love people envied. We met in college. Lena was the quiet type, deep thinker, soft laughter. I was loud, impulsive, and entirely smitten. Over time, we grew into each other. Our life was simple, routine, maybe but steady. Comfortable. I never thought I'd question any of it. It started small like most things do. She began coming home later than usual. Nothing dramatic, just 15, 20 minutes at first. She blamed traffic or work piling up. I believed her. Then it was the phone, always in her hand, screen tilted away from me. She'd laugh at messages and say it was just someone from work or a friend catching up. I didn't press. Trust, I told myself. Every marriage needs trust.
But it gnawed at me.
Then she mentioned him. Jason. An old friend from college she had reconnected with on social media. I had no reason to suspect anything. She said they were just catching up over lunch occasionally. She told me not to be insecure, not to read into things. I tried to shake off the feeling in my gut, but something about the way she spoke his name, too casually, too often, didn't sit right. She started dressing differently on days she said she was meeting him. More makeup. A different perfume. When I commented, she just smiled and said it was good to feel good. I told myself I was being paranoid, that I was imagining things. But late at night, when she was asleep beside me, I stared at the ceiling and replayed everything. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to trust that she was still mine in the same way I was still hers. But her eyes weren't the same when she looked at me. They didn't linger. Her touch felt rehearsed. She didn't talk about her day anymore, only in vague brushstrokes, never specifics. It felt like I was talking to a version of her that had been edited, like the real Lena was somewhere else. I didn't say anything. I kept playing the role of the supportive husband, laughing at her jokes, making her coffee in the morning, pretending everything was fine. But I was watching. Not because I wanted to catch her doing something wrong, but because I was desperate for reassurance. I needed to see something, anything, that told me I was still the man she loved. She hugged me one night before bed and said, "You know you mean everything to me, right?" I smiled, but I couldn't speak. Because in that moment, I realized something terrifying. I didn't believe her. Not anymore. I still loved her, but a shadow had crept into my heart. It was the doubt she planted with every half-truth, every unexplained smile, every late-night message. Something was breaking, and I was too afraid to say it out loud. She said she was going away for a girls' weekend, some spa resort 2 hours out. I nodded, smiled, helped her pack. She kissed me on the cheek before leaving and told me not to wait up. I watched her drive off with a weird weight in my chest, but again I said nothing. Maybe I didn't want the truth. Maybe I was still clinging to the hope that I was wrong. 2 days later, she was back like nothing had changed. She laughed, told me about massages and facials and overpriced salads. I nodded along, pretending. But I noticed she had forgotten to unpack one of her coats. I picked it up, ready to hang it, when something fell out of the pocket. A folded receipt. I picked it up without thinking. It was from a hotel, local, not a resort. 1 room, 1 night, 2 guests. Dated the night she was supposedly at the spa. I stared at it for a long time. The name on the booking wasn't hers. It was his. Jason. My hands were cold. My chest felt tight. I wanted it to be a mistake, a coincidence, anything but what it obviously was. But the time, the date, the name, it all lined up. I sat down, receipt still in hand, trying to breathe. I didn't cry. Not then. I just felt numb. That night, when she was asleep beside me, I picked up her phone. No luck. Either she trusted me too much or didn't care anymore. I opened her messages. Scrolled through names I didn't recognize until I found his. Jason. The thread was short, probably deleted often, but it was enough. Last night was everything. You always know how to make me feel alive. Same time next week. That was it. Proof. Undeniable. Tangible. I put the phone down and walked to the kitchen. I stood there in the dark, gripping the edge of the counter, my thoughts spinning. 7 years. 7 years of memories of building a life, and it could all be undone with one slip of paper and a few digital words.
I didn't yell.
I didn't throw anything. I just stood there, drowning in silence. All those moments when she said I was imagining things, that Jason was just a friend, it wasn't paranoia. It was instinct. And I'd buried it under blind faith. The betrayal wasn't just the cheating. It was the lying, the manipulation, the way she looked me in the eye and told me she loved me while sneaking around behind my back. It was every kiss that meant nothing. Every I love you that now felt rehearsed. I wanted to wake her up and demand answers, but I knew I wouldn't get the truth.
Not really.
Not from someone who had already chosen deceit. I went back to bed, lay beside her, and stared at the ceiling. The weight of knowing was unbearable, but the worst part was pretending I didn't. She came home from work like it was any other day, humming some tune, smiling like her world was intact. I was sitting at the table, the hotel receipt placed in front of me. She didn't notice at first. She asked about dinner, kissed my cheek, started telling me about her day. I didn't say a word. I waited. Then I asked her plainly, "Who is Jason really?" She froze. The shift in her expression was instant. The smile vanished, replaced by confusion, then fear. She looked down, saw the receipt, and her entire body stiffened. "It's not what you think," she said quickly. The most predictable line in the world. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I asked again, quieter this time. "Who is he?" She sat down slowly, eyes still fixed on the paper. "We were just talking at first," she began. "I didn't mean for anything to happen. It just did." Those words cut deeper than any lie. It just happened. As if betrayal was some accident, not a choice she made. I asked how long. She said a few months. I asked how many times. She didn't answer. That told me everything. She started crying, telling me she felt distant from me, that she was confused, that she didn't know how to fix what we'd lost. I asked her when she planned to tell me. She said she didn't know. Maybe never. Maybe she was hoping I'd never find out. That was honest, at least. I sat there, listening to the woman I'd built my life with explain how she unraveled it, piece by piece, without remorse until she got caught. She said it wasn't serious with him, that it didn't mean anything, but it meant enough to risk everything we had. It meant enough to lie, over and over again, to look me in the eyes and play pretend. She reached for my hand. I pulled away. That broke her more than my silence did. She kept saying my name, begging me to talk, but I had nothing left to say that wouldn't come out as rage. I asked her, calmly, if she loved him. She said no. I asked if she still loved me. She said yes. I didn't believe her. She tried to apologize, to explain the emotional disconnect, how she felt invisible, how things had changed between us. I reminded her that I was here the whole time, trying, waiting, loyal. She chose secrecy. She chose lies. Not once did she come to me with honesty. I stood up. She asked where I was going. I said, "Away from this." She cried harder, saying we could work through it. I told her, "I don't trust you. Without trust, there's nothing left." She followed me down the hallway, still talking, still pleading, but I didn't turn back. I couldn't. Some breaks can't be fixed. Some lies echo louder than silence. It's been 2 months. The apartment is quiet now, no humming, no laughter, no perfume lingering in the air. I moved out the week after happened, packed a suitcase, left the keys on the counter, and didn't say goodbye. She called, texted, even showed up at my sister's once, but I didn't respond. There was nothing left to talk about. She made her choice. So I made mine. I've been going to therapy. At first, I thought it was pointless, talking to a stranger about pain that no one could fix. But it helped. Not to forget, but to understand. To see the difference between what was real and what I wanted to believe. I've learned how easily love can blind you, how silence can rot a relationship from the inside out. I stopped asking why she did it. There's no answer that would have made it hurt less. Some people cheat not because they're missing something, but because they don't value what they have until it's gone. She still emails me sometimes. Long messages filled with memories, apologies, promises. I don't read them anymore. They all end the same way, asking if there's a chance. But there isn't. She broke something she can't rebuild. Not just trust, but the image I had of her. Once that cracks, it never looks the same again. I still think about her. That part surprised me. Not out of love, not anymore, but out of habit. 7 years creates a rhythm. You don't just unlearn it. Some mornings I reach for the other side of the bed without thinking, but it's empty. And honestly, I prefer it that way. There's peace in solitude. No guessing, no pretending. Just quiet. People ask what happened. I tell them it didn't work out. They nod, don't pry. Maybe they already know. Or maybe they've been through something similar. Infidelity isn't rare. It's just rarely talked about. Everyone sees the happy photos, the anniversary posts. No one sees the nights full of doubt, the lies whispered under breath, the betrayal wrapped in a smile. I've started doing things I never made time for before. Running, writing, seeing friends I'd drifted from. I'm not trying to distract myself. I'm trying to rebuild. Not the version of life I had with her, but a new one, where I don't have to question everything. Where love, when it comes again, will be honest or not at all. I saw a couple the other day, holding hands, laughing like nothing could touch them. And for a second, I felt that old ache. Not jealousy, just the memory of what I thought I had. I hope they make it. I hope they're honest with each other. Because the worst part of betrayal isn't the act, it's knowing the person you trusted most became a stranger. So no, she wasn't just a friend. And no, I'll never forget what that receipt showed me. But I survived it. And that's enough.